Hello, and welcome to Life as It Is with me, Dora Middleton. Um, in this segment, I wanted to talk about the VR, which is a gaming system. Actually, it's a virtual reality system. Now, I purchased this system at the beginning of December. Well, actually, the end of November of last year. Okay. Since I have been using this system, it's mind blowing. I mean, literally, as an adult, it's mind blowing the things you can do with this system, and you can play all kinds of games from race car games to getting on roller coasters. And the funny things, of course, is virtual reality, but you feel it. Like when you're in a roller coaster, it feels like you're in a roller coaster. Okay. When you jump off of a building or whatever you do, it feels real. Literally, you can climb mountains and it feels real. Now, they say that when you play those games, it's addictive, and I'm going to say this, and I stand by what I say when I say I love playing this VR, but it is addictive because I had to send mine back because there were some glitches, so I needed them to send me a new one. And I'm a very outgoing person. I will go out, hang out with family, hang out with friends, hang out with, of course, my kids, grandkids. But when my game was not with me for 2 weeks while I waited for the replacement, I found myself checking to see, okay, has it been shipped? Where's my game? Because I really believe what they say when they say it's addictive. But I'm telling you also, it is a very good system to get. If you're bored, if you're at home, you have time in between working. I usually play it when I'm not working. If I'm off for the day or late in the evenings before I go to bed, I'll play it. And I have a ball because I have met people from around the world. People that work for Facebook, people that work for YouTube, Tesla. You meet so many people. Not to mention you're playing with celebrities as well because they're on there too, you know? And you just set up your little profile. You do your avatar to look like you. And everything you do while you're logged on, your avatar does it. You fix your avatar's hair the way you wear your hair, the earrings, everything is so real. And it is such a fun game. It is. But also, I will say this, like with any other gaming system, you do have racism. You would think that since everyone is on this game enjoying themselves, you always have that racist to come in and call a person out of their name, whether they're black, if they're talking about black, or they're talking about Jewish people, or they're talking about gay people or lesbian people. You have those bastards that come in there and ruin it for everybody. And it's sad because you can go on that game and you can have so much fun. Kids are on there playing with each other. They can go take walks together. I went zip lining on the game. And when I tell you it felt so real, I was like, oh my God, you can ski. It's just so crazy. But again, it's virtual reality. Now, would I go ziplining in real life? I don't know. Since I've gotten to be the age I am now, I'm not such a daredevil like I used to be. So I don't think I would do it. I don't think I would do it because I don't like heights. But there's a lot of heights in this game, but I can deal with it in the game. But you feel it when you're on the roller coasters, when you're driving a race car, when you're climbing mountains or you're jumping off buildings, you feel this stuff literally within your body. And that's the crazy thing about it when you're on virtual reality, the fact that you can feel all these things. And you can meet all these new people. But here's the thing. And one thing is when you're playing this game, even if if you don't set your settings the correct way, everyone around the world can hear your conversation. Like if you pull to the side and start talking to one individual, all of us in the VR can hear it. I mean, you don't know who's saying it because you don't see their faces because they're not around you at that moment, but you hear the conversation. I've heard, and this is so crazy, and people, they feel so free talking about certain things because guess what? We're just avatars, and they feel comfortable because we don't know where we're located, where the other person is located. I mean, you get people that ask you, hey, what state are you from? And I just say, oh, Midwest, or something like that. I don't tell anyone where I'm at. That's just something I'm not going to do. But it's weird because I overheard this conversation these guys were having, and they were trying to get people's opinions on the game about certain situations. Okay. Now, what he asked another guy is, he said, hey, I'm married. Am I wrong for trying to get more involved with the woman over the VR? We've started talking off the VR and we socialized a lot on the VR. Is that considered cheating? I mean, is that a virtual reality girlfriend is what he was asking the guy. And I'm listening like, okay, if that was my husband, if I was married, how would I feel about my husband playing this game all day with the same woman or even exchanging numbers and talking outside of the VR? Yes, I think that's a form of cheating. Okay, because that's how most cheating relationships start. You start as friends, of course. You start talking to each other or you're hanging out a lot, and then you start having feelings for one another. So, but it wasn't my question to answer. He was asking the other fellas in there, and I'm listening like, wow, okay. Then I overheard another conversation where a guy was saying how much he was on this and that drug, and this happened to him when he was on this drug and that drug. And I have to say this, when it comes to kids, and I monitor my grandkids when they use it, and even I keep an eye on my older kids when they play it, because in this game, some of these places are 18 and over. They call them worlds, okay? You have worlds, and in these worlds, you don't know what you're going to come into, once you enter into that world in virtual reality. They have strip clubs. They have strip clubs with private rooms. Now, here's the funny thing. You have a private room. What can you do as an avatar? I guess it's like you go in there and it's make believe. You go in there. They have these rooms. They have beds. They have everything. It's just crazy. You can go in there, and if you smoke weed in real life, you can go in there and smoke weed. They have fake joints. People put pills floating around in virtual reality. Crack pipes floating around in virtual reality. Okay? People, they have devil worshippers that have made rooms on this game. You enter, and by mistake, I entered into that room, and I was frightened to death at what I was seeing in there, because I grew up in church. I love my God up above. When I walked in that room, I didn't know. You see how speechless I am now? A man walks out of the wall. He's wearing all red. You walk in this room and it's red everywhere, red and black, and then upside down black crosses and Satan all over the place. And then you enter into another room. There's a big church that's red and black. Looks like a real church, but who's sitting at the throne in the middle of the church is Satan. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. I couldn't get out of that. And then the man follows you around telling you to put on the devil's horns. Then you can experience other things. I'm like, oh no, I'm getting the hell out of here. This is ungodly. I'm sorry. And then if you are on the VR, you hear a lot of people saying, oh my God, I went to that room and I was terrified. I talked to a woman that said she got stuck in there and she was scared. She thought that it's something the man did to keep her stuck in there. I mean, they do control these rooms, so you don't know what they do when you get in there. What happens? You know what I'm saying? Then I went to a church. I loved it. It was a big church on VR. They play real gospel music. It's set up just like a real church. I love going there and listening to the music. I love that. That's why I'm saying in VR, you see everything, the good, the bad, the ugly. Okay. They have rooms set up for the gay community, which I think that's good. You know, they have rooms set up for just hanging out and playing skating. You can skate in VR. Yes, you can skate. It's crazy, but you can skate in VR. It is so weird. You can do so much. And again, like I said, this game, I will say this, the news did a special and they said, oh, that game is, it's addicting. You know, you can get addicted to it. So you shouldn't spend too much time on it. And I was laughing when I heard it. I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. But let me tell you, and I'm honest. One thing about all of you listeners that listen to me, you know I'm honest. I don't candy coat anything. I think it is a little bit addicting because this is why I say that. I was having problems with my game, so I sent it back, and I was waiting for an exchange to be sent. I found myself going on the UPS site, like, where the hell is my game? Where is my game? You know, and I was a little bit aggravated because I'm like, just agitated in so many different ways because I wanted my game. And I'm like, okay, did they mail it yet? Then I sent them an email like, can you tell me where's my game? You know, I'm asking them when am I going to receive my game back? And my daughter said, Mom, I think you're addicted to it. I'm like, no, I'm not addicted. I know I'm not addicted to it. I know that I just enjoy it because it's funny. It's funny. If you only knew how funny it was, you can go to the comedy club. And when I tell you, it's so many comedy clubs on that game. You can go to clubs. It's like real clubs. You could pretend like you're again smoking weed. You could pretend like you're swimming. They have swimming pools that sound like you're really in the water when you jump in and swim. You could play ball in the water. You could dance with people around the world, literally dance. Like I said, whatever your avatar does, you do. So it's real music and you can dance to the real music. And it's literally like going to a real club. I think in certain cases, I think it can make a person really lazy to where they don't want to get out the house because, hey, you've brought it all right here in this virtual reality game. And some people may think, I don't need to leave the house. You know, so I think that the game has its good and its bad things about it. I also know that a lot of kids are on there. And when I play the games, I'll ask if you hear a kid's voice, I'll ask, how old are you? Some of them won't speak. That's a red flag because if they don't speak, we know that they are children. Okay, that's number one. Some of these rooms, these worlds, what they call them, kids shouldn't be in. So they hide themselves. So they try. But what they don't understand is they're giving themselves away when they won't speak because they know we want to hear their voices to see if they're children. Because if they are children, then we can vote them out of that room. It would send a panel around for all of us to vote them out, and then they would throw them out of the room. Not saying they can't come back, but they can, you know, but we can keep throwing them out. Okay, so there's also times where some of the kids are really mature. You could play a game with them, whatever game, a running game. You could play, what is it? We play golf with the kids. Arcade. You can go to the arcade and play with the kids. But this is the thing. Or in laser tag, you can play with the kids. So there's games you can play and kids are allowed. But again, some people don't want kids in there. And the reason why is because they just feel, a woman told this child yesterday, if you're a kid, you got to get out. I'm sorry, but I don't play with kids. So the child started telling us, you guys don't like kids, and that's what's going on here. Why don't you like kids? And I had to laugh because I said, honey, she's not saying she don't like children. She don't want to play in a game with the kid. There's games on here for kids your age. You say you're 13, then you should go play with the 13-year-olds. Okay. And he said, you guys just don't like kids. She said, oh, I love kids. If I want to play with kids, then I'll get off the VR and play with my kids. I'm here to interact with adults. So some of the kids get mad. They tell you to shut the fuck up. They tell you, who cares? And you're trying to play the game. They're out talking you. They're screaming. They start throwing things at you in the game. And it's me. I'll laugh at it because I be around kids a lot. I have a really big family. So I'll laugh at it because it doesn't bother me. But some adults get so pissed off. They say, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. Send me a message when these kids are off the game. And I try to explain to the kids, honey, you can't do that. If you expect for an adult to play any of these games with you, you have to act a little bit more mature. I know you're a kid. I know you're only 13, but you have to stop the things that you're doing because at 13, you're honestly too old to be doing those things. And then they curse you out. And I don't let that bother me. I still don't let that bother me. Hey, I've been around kids. So you can't raise someone else's kid on VR. You really can't. But what I do is make sure that I try to protect their kids at all costs. So if I know that these kids shouldn't be in a certain world, is what they call it, we try to vote them out so that they won't be in there. Because some of these strictly say 18 and over, and these children will lie and do whatever they can to get in those rooms. So that's why I say it's a good and it's a bad part. I think that maybe they should have it so there's a way to really wean out these babies, these kids from getting on in certain rooms. But I guess there's really no way. It's just like trying to keep them off of Facebook or out of rooms on Facebook and Instagram off these pages. You just can't do it. It just can't be done. But I will say it's when you're on VR, it's like a new world that it opens you up to. New people. I have met people I know I probably would never have met. People in South Africa, people in Korea. You meet people everywhere. Different countries, different continents, different states, cities, just people everywhere. And I enjoy it. You can have conversations. You meet new friends. Believe it or not, these people have cliques. There's cliques. When I log on, I'm instantly getting messages from everybody. Hey, you want to play this game? Hey, you want to go hang out here? Hey, you want to do that? You can hang out together on VR. Literally. They even have, when you go on certain VR games, when you log on, they give you your own apartment and you can send people messages and have them come to your apartment. You can have a party. They have fake wine, fake, it's like real life. You can watch movies. And here's the kicker. There's a game where I can invite someone to watch a movie with me, and you can buy a real movie like you're at a theater, and you watch it in your home that they give you in your free apartment or house, and watch it together side by side like you're at a movie theater with fake popcorn and soda, candy. It's just crazy. It just amazes me what they can do with these electronics and virtual reality. It's amazing. So I've watched movies with people that has invited me to a movie that I don't know. Guys that just men in general just want to pay. You pay for a real movie and you watch it, a new movie. I like it. That's cool. So I think a lot of people, and I will be honest about this and listening to the conversations that I've heard on there, a lot of people are dating off of this VR. They're meeting people. I'm just wondering, my question is it going to be more of the VR? Are people going to turn to this type of thing more than online dating? That's a question because it seems like it's a lot of it going on right now. But that's just, just my question. I was telling you guys about this because I think as an adult, we need some things that we can get off into. You just enjoy yourself sitting on your sofa and just put you in a whole new world. You can ride things on there. I rode on a boat, like a cruise ship, and it literally feels like it's moving, like you're on a real cruise ship. I love it. I do. I love it. You can just go through and have your own little adventure. I do that. When I meet new people, we talk and then we just what we call room hop. We go to different worlds and see and find different worlds because it's so many worlds and they make more and more every day. So it's always going to be a new world out there. There's never a boring time on that game. So sometimes I get with people and we just hop from one world to another and we'll sit and have conversations at the bar or at the table. You could pretend to have dinner. You could take walks together. I do that. It's very relaxing. Some of these worlds are very relaxing. Or you can go to the club if that's your cup of tea and you can hear rap, country. They have country clubs, Latina clubs, R&B rap clubs. You name it, they have the club in there. And thousands of people you can interact with. So I did this segment because I wanted to kind of talk about what's new. This is 2022, and it seems like virtual reality is really showing its face out there. And a lot of grown-ups are jumping in and enjoying it, which they should, because I enjoy it. But is it addictive? I think a little bit. I think it is a little bit, because when you're not on it, it might cross your mind to get on it because you enjoy it. You can play all these games with adults, then you don't have to go meet them anywhere. You can just meet them right here on the game and you build friendships over the game. And it's pretty cool. I think it's cool. So that's why I did this segment today. I just wanted everyone's opinion on what they thought about VR gaming. And if you can give me your opinion, just leave it after the video and I'll read them and let you know how I feel about how you feel about the game. If we feel about the same about the game, or do you feel a certain way? Or if you've never heard of it, you can say you've never heard of it. But I'm really interested. I want to get everyone's opinions on VR gaming because it's been a blast for me. Okay. I think the game itself costs $300. Some people up the prices. I bought mine right before Christmas, so they charged me basically $500. So they upped the price. But it's actually only $300, depending on where you go or who you buy it from. Some people like to rip you off. I know I was ripped off, but it was Christmas and I couldn't find it anywhere else, so I bought it there. But I think you all should buy it. It's a really cool game. You get it through Facebook. So you could buy it through Facebook, or you could buy it at Walmart. You can buy it at Target, Best Buy. I mean, you can buy it wherever, or you can get off the wall store to buy it from. But I think it's a pretty cool game. As a matter of fact, I didn't even touch on the fact that you can do your business through there. People literally come on there and have meetings. Big corporations have meetings. They have meeting rooms where you can have your meetings. Everyone can interact over Oculus. Can you believe it now? If it's progressed that fast to that type of situation, just imagine what it's going to be 10 years, 5 years from now, to be honest. if businesses are using it and they're having virtual reality meetings using avatars. That is crazy, but that's what they're doing. And I would not tell a lie. That's why I say you all should go on there and see for yourself. Purchase one and see for yourself. The businesses are using these. They are literally using these for instead of using Zoom, they're using this. They're using this VR. People were telling me how their employers use VR and how they do their meetings, or they just do different things on VR. It's just amazing. Okay, I would like to thank you guys for taking the time out to listen to me talk about this video game. But I just wanted everyone's opinion on what they think about the game. Because like I said, like everything else, social media or everything else with gaming, there's the good, there's the pros, and there's the cons of it. There's the good, there's the bad. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about it and see how you feel about it, or if you've even heard about the VR gaming systems. Like I said, feel free to leave me a message and I will read them and talk about it on my next segment. Okay? And until my next segment, I would like to thank you all for tuning in to me, Dora Middleton, on Life as It Is with me. And until next time, take care.